my name is Carlos Rodriguez, and today we're going to be talking about PSAs and driving incidences. So we're going to start with public service announcements and how they can potentially reduce the number of driver-related accidents. They are listened to by many. The use of a PSAs and are intended for the people. It is not just a tool for advertising, but it's also for warning people of controversial problems. Because of PSAs, Americans have been alerted to the issues of smoking, lowering the amount of smokers to below 30% in teens. Although people may argue PSAs may be ignored, PSAs for driving announcements can help lower the amount of American driving accidents as, although they can be ignored, they are heard. PSAs could preserve the lives of many Americans and prevent texting and driving. I'm going to move on to the next slide now. Public service announcements, well, as I said before, could reduce the number of distracted driving related accidents. Public service announcements are accessed by many. It's accessible through phones, anywhere. In a distracted driving article made by the U.S. government, the article states that in 2014, 3,179 people were killed and 431,000 people were injured in motor vehicle crashes involving distracted drivers. In another study, it states that 43% of crash victims have been on either the receiving or sending end of a text. In another private study, it was stated that when asked the question, how often do you write or read text messages while driving, the majority of respondents, which was 61.8%, answered that they did so sometimes, and 10.8% answered frequently. These numbers are astounding and makes it easy to visualize how these distracted driving incidents happen. As problematic as it is, we need the PSAs to help broadcast the consequences of the errors in our habits so that we may avoid these losses of life. Some, however, would argue that PSAs don't assist the public and are rarely heard in a minimal way, if at all. However, this is inaccurate, as over half the adult population owns a smartphone, according to an article in 2015. In a study developed by the Nielsen Company, they stated that over 96.7% of Americans own some form of television. To be concise, that's over 90% of Americans that can see PSAs and or hear them, and over 50% of adults that can also have access to the same and pass a lesson down to their children. A study provided by Science and Researching Incorporated stated that the results of the Faces of Distracted Driving stated, which was a rather strong video about the subject, over half of the students perceived the PSAs as believable and thought it would be beneficial to air on television. As unpleasant as the test subjects believed the message to be, it had a large impact on them. It is through the powerful message of PSAs such as this that we may be able to lower the amount of distracted driving incidents that are plaguing America. On the bottom right of the screen, you will see a small chart about TVs owned. Public service announcements have the potential to reduce the number of distracted driver-related deaths. The use of PSAs are for the public to learn from and to be alerted of issues in controversy. Although some would disagree that many would even listen to them, let alone adhere to PSAs, over half of Americans own a smartphone and thus have the technology to access and receive PSAs. So it really can't be ignored too much. Over 90% of Americans have a TV which can give them the ability to see or hear a PSA. PSAs have the potential to save many lives in car crashes and prevent texting and driving and preserve the life of many Americans. This has been the presentation on PSAs and how they can prevent driver-related deaths. Thank you for your time and have a great day. The final page is just sources and images. Thank you.